where we bring you tips to keep your car running smoothly and safely. We're talking about one of the most important parts of your car, your brakes. Knowing how to maintain them and recognize signs of trouble could literally save your life. Let's get started. Signs of brake problems. First up, let's talk about some of the key signs that your brakes might be in trouble. Ignoring these symptoms can lead to bigger, more expensive problems, and it's dangerous too. Squeaking or squealing sounds. When you press on the brake pedal and hear a squeak, it's likely a sign your brake pads are wearing thin. Many brake pads have a built-in wear indicator, which makes this noise to warn you. Grinding noise. A grinding noise usually means your brake pads are completely worn, and you're now braking metal on metal. This can damage your rotors and create a costly repair. Brake pedal feels soft or spongy. If your brake pedal feels soft or spongy when you press it, you might have air in your brake lines or a brake fluid leak. Both situations need immediate attention. Vibrations when braking. Feeling vibrations or shaking when you brake? This often means your rotors are warped. Warped rotors can reduce your stopping power, so it's important to have them inspected and possibly replaced. Brake warning light. Finally, if your brake warning light comes on, don't ignore it. It could be an indicator of low brake fluid or another issue within the brake system. Basic brake maintenance tips. Now that you know the warning signs, let's move on to some basic maintenance tips to keep your brakes in top shape. These are simple things you can do yourself to avoid bigger problems down the road. Check your brake pads. Inspect your brake pads regularly. Most mechanics recommend checking them every 10,000 to 15,000 miles. If the pads are less than a quarter of an inch thick, it's time to replace them. Brake fluid check. Brake fluid is essential for the hydraulic pressure that makes your brakes work. Check your fluid level every few months, and top it off if needed. If the fluid looks dirty, it's time for a change, usually every 2 years, or as recommended by your car's manufacturer. Test your brake pedal. Press the brake pedal while the car is off. If it feels soft, mushy, or sinks to the floor, this is a sign of a serious problem like a fluid leak or air in the brake lines. Listen for unusual noises. Always listen for squeaks or grinding. This is one of the easiest ways to catch brake issues early. When to seek professional help. Some brake maintenance can be handled at home, but if you're ever unsure, don't hesitate to bring your car to a professional. Brake systems are critical to your safety, and it's better to be cautious. Brake fluid leaks. If you notice a pool of liquid under your car and suspect a brake fluid leak, have it looked at immediately. Brake fluid is essential for stopping power, and a leak can lead to brake failure. Brake rotor and caliper inspection. During regular brake pad changes, it's a good idea to have your rotors and calipers inspected. Worn or warped rotors will need to be resurfaced or replaced. Common brake maintenance mistakes to avoid. Before we wrap up, let's go over some common mistakes people make when maintaining their brakes. Ignoring brake fluid changes. Brake fluid gets old and loses its effectiveness. Make sure to follow your manufacturer's recommended schedule for fluid changes. Using cheap brake pads. Don't skimp on quality when it comes to brake pads. Cheap pads may wear out faster and could even damage other components. Waiting too long to replace pads. Putting off brake pad replacement can lead to rotor damage and a more expensive repair. Stay on top of it. Stay safe with good brake care. And that's it. Everything you need to know about maintaining your brakes and recognizing problems. Your brakes are your car's most important safety feature, so it pays to keep them in good shape. Regular inspections and maintenance can prevent expensive repairs and, most importantly, keep you safe on the road. We're diving into something every driver relies on daily: your car's brakes. Whether you're cruising around town or stopping on a dime in an emergency, your brakes are crucial to your safety. We'll break down how they work, common brake issues, and some tips for maintaining them. Let's get started. How brakes work. First, let's look at how your brakes actually work. When you press down on the brake pedal, it triggers a series of events. Here's a quick breakdown. The pedal pushes a piston inside the master cylinder, which creates hydraulic pressure. This pressure forces brake fluid through brake lines toward the calipers. The calipers then press the brake pads against the brake rotors. The friction between the pads and rotors slows down your wheels, bringing your car to a stop. Pretty neat, right? This is the basic function for most modern cars, whether they have disc or drum brakes. Disc brakes versus drum brakes. There are two main types of brake systems, disc brakes and drum brakes. Most modern cars use disc brakes on the front wheels and sometimes the rear too, while older cars may have drum brakes. Disc brakes have a rotor, caliper, and brake pads, while drum brakes have a brake drum, shoes, and wheel cylinder. Though both do the same job, disc brakes are generally more efficient because they cool down faster and provide more stopping power. Common brake issues. Next, let's talk about some common brake issues you might face. Worn brake pads. Over time, brake pads wear down, and you might hear a squeaking sound. This means it's time to replace them. Vibrations or pulsations. If you feel a vibration when braking, it could be due to warped rotors that need resurfacing or replacement. Spongy brake pedal. If your brake pedal feels soft or spongy, it could indicate air in the brake lines or low brake fluid. Brake warning light. If your brake warning light comes on, don't ignore it. This could mean low fluid, a problem with the brake pads, or something more serious. Maintaining your brakes. Now, let's get into brake maintenance. Keeping your brakes in good condition can save you money and keep you safe on the road. Here are a few key tips. Check brake pads regularly. Inspect your brake pads every 10,000 to 15,000 miles. If they're less than a quarter-inch thick, it's time to replace them. Brake fluid check. Brake fluid should be replaced every 2-3 years, depending on the manufacturer's recommendation. Low or dirty fluid can affect braking performance. Listen for unusual noises. Squeaking or grinding sounds are a sign that your brakes need attention. Test the brake pedal. If the pedal feels spongy or soft, have your brakes inspected immediately. Brake rotors and drums. These should be checked during every brake pad replacement to ensure they aren't warped or worn down. When to seek professional help. While some brake maintenance tasks, like checking brake pads or fluid, can be done at home, there are times when you'll need to bring your car to a professional. If your brakes are making strange noises, vibrating, or your brake light is on, it's best to let a mechanic take a look. Brakes are critical to your safety, and it's always better to be safe than sorry. Stay safe with good brake maintenance. And there you have it, Brakes 101. Your car's brakes are its most important safety feature. And proper care will not only keep you safe but also save you money on repairs in the long run. Remember to check your brake pads and fluid regularly. Listen for any unusual noises, and don't hesitate to seek professional help when needed. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more tips on car care. Have any questions about your brakes? Drop them in the comments, and I'll be happy to help. Thanks for watching.